Welcome to AlphaCars. My name is Dimitri and I am reporting from our Boxborough location showroom. We have some gorgeous vehicles here. 740 Sport, 635 BMW. This one is very special. We have a Vet. We have a Soviet era exotic right here. And then all kinds of cars. But the topic of today's video is going to be this Range Rover. 1999 with about 65,000 miles. Here's another nice BMW right here, the 840. Back to the Range Rover. Why this is so special? Number one, because at the time of this video, it's still available. And now we're going to talk about why you should pay special attention if you always wanted to get one of these. Because this particular one, we really lucked out with this. Basically, it is an original vehicle. We're going to do the paint meter test. We're going to show you the paint meter readings. And every square inch of this vehicle has factory original paint. It also happened to retain its luster, its looks. You can see the trim panels. You'll see it outside also. It's in great, great condition. And the previous owner who purchased the vehicle, and he didn't have it for long. He has a number of Range Rovers, but he did spend several $1,000s, which is not unusual when you buy a Range Rover, but you wouldn't have to do that because that's been just done. So the dashboard was removed, and the motors, the heater core, and your typical stuff that's been all overhauled. The underbody, the air suspension was removed and installed with coil springs. We're going to show it to you on the lift when we have it up in the air. So there were all proper improvements were done by the Range Rover enthusiast. He has several of them and had many of them over the years. He is our longtime customer. He bought a Mercedes from us in the past, and we had a gorgeous SL that he couldn't resist and had to give up this Range Rover. So we have it for your consideration, and as we walk around the vehicle here in our showroom, we're going to show you some of the things. In fact, I'm going to grab my paint meter and we will start from the hood, and I'll report on the paint meter readings. And I will also tell you why it's so important to consider a vehicle with original factory paint. Yes, Carfax is great, and if the Carfax tells us there are no accidents, there is a good chance it didn't have any accidents and the paint may be original, but equally good chance that the car had accidents that are not reported yet or never will be. There may be accidents that were not done through the insurance. There's so many reasons Carfax doesn't get the information. So you will say, well, why should I not consider a vehicle that had a fresh paint job? It has new paint job. It's got something new. Well, you actually want to stick to original paint, especially if it's as nice as it is on this Range Rover, for a number of reasons. Just because, first of all, there had to be a reason why the paint had to apply, why the vehicle had to be repainted. The most innocent reason is if there was a cosmetic scratch and the panel was refinished, one or two panels. And that's okay if you know that it was done properly, but it's still not as good as factory paint job. And then there are many other reasons that ranging from having a lot of body filler to having all kinds of structural repairs that you wouldn't know until you really dive into this. But if you have a vehicle like this one with factory original paint job, you don't need to worry about it because you know you're getting into factory quality, and there's nothing like factory quality. So we're measuring 4.5 to 5.0 right here. Here's the paint meter reading. And what is the paint meter reading? This is measured in mils, and it measures the distance between the very top of the paint surface, in this instance it would be clear coat, to the metal, so the thickness of the coating. And to give you an idea, if you take the sticky note, that measures, and if you put it on a bare metal and measure on top of it, it'll measure 3.5 mils, more or less, between 3 and 3.5. So we'll keep going. Now that you know everything about mils and the paint meter readings, we're measuring about 3. And again, it will vary. because paint is not like a machine surface. It does have various thicknesses where the curves are. Over the years, the paint was polished and buffed, and some of the thickness gets removed as you polish your gorgeous car. So we're measuring 3.0. We're measuring 2.5, 2.5. And certain sections that are divided by body panels, we measure them also, just because theoretically someone could have refinished this up to the body molding, and it happens from time to time. So we're measuring 3.5. We're also going to hit this, and we're measuring 3.0. 2.5, 2.0, 3.0, 3.5, 4.0. There's not much there. Let's hit the roof. 3.5, 4.5, and we'll get the roof. 4.5. Let's make our way around the tailgate, which is commonly gets nicked and damaged. Sometimes people open it into their garage door. Let's see how this one did over the years. 1.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. So it measures factory original paint. 1.5, 2.0. So I'm going to put my glasses and I'm going to see if there are any transitions between this area and up here, just to make sure we're not missing anything. And I don't see any transitions. It looks like it starts from, and what I'm looking for the texture of the paint, and it is consistent starting off, running through. And sometimes a really good body shop, they can use a body line like this, and they can roll the paint and buff out the transition. But again, I don't see anything like this. This is all factory original. Let's keep going. And look at the trim. It's in gorgeous, gorgeous condition. All the black stuff looks really, really nice. 3.5, 4.5, 4.0, 2.5. I'm actually gonna keep the paint meter this way, so maybe you'll be able to see it. 3.0, 3.0. Yeah, look at the door handles. And again, all the body moldings. On the driver's door, 2.5, 3.0, 3.0. And we're finishing our walk around the vehicle with the paint meter. Bottom of the fender, 2.5, 2.5, and the hood is 4.5. We're also going to measure this side of the roof, 3.5, the front of the roof, 3.5, 4.0, and 4.0. We're also going to glance at the roof, just because it's something that's important. And let me tell you, it looks absolutely awesome. And I'm glad we looked at it, because there are a couple of small little dents. I'm going to report on them. None of them have any paint damage, but again, we're going to disclose them. So let's get down on the ground. And Ian, did you see the dents?
They're towards the back, right?
There was one there, and there are a couple right here. There's one here, another one here, and it looks like when things were loaded up, I'm not sure if you can see it with the camera, but there's one right here, another one right there. You can barely see them. There's no paint damage. It's just we're doing it for full disclosure. We're going to take you through the condition of the interior, which is quite impressive from the quality of the wood, all the trim and the carpets and the condition of leather. We'll probably get it outside. And I'm sorry, I did not introduce Ian, who's running the camera in this video, but he is a professional detailer, car enthusiast, and he's going to take you through the interior in much greater detail. But one thing I'll mention, if you know Range Rovers, or if you have been involved, if you're involved with any of the vintage vehicle from the 80s, 90s, luxury vehicles that have heated seats, or had heated seats, should I say, this one is no exception. The heating elements do not work. All the electrical components work, the switches work, the circuits work, we tested it, but the actual heating elements in this Range Rover, they do not work. So we want to give you full disclosure of that. But again, on the positive side, if you go through all the other functionality, if you look at the heater control panel, all the LEDs work beautiful, everything works. It's actually a new heater control panel that was almost $2,500, and that was done at the same time when the dash was apart and the HVAC was overhauled professionally. So definitely a super enjoyable vehicle, and I'm going to hand it over to Ian to give you a walk around on the daylight on the outside so you can better see the condition of the vehicle.
Hey everyone, now that I've got the Range Rover outside, we'll take a closer look at this awesome factory paint, and we'll take a look at the interior, engine compartment, and the cargo compartment as well. I do just want to disclose one thing we overlooked in the showroom. There's this little bump on the rear bumper right here. So we do just want to disclose that, but the rest of the bumper is in great condition. So now that I've told you about that, in a very detailed fashion, I'm going to go around the Range Rover here and just show you the condition of everything. We did take a quick look at the wheels, tires, and brakes in the showroom, but I'll show you them once again. And just coming up shortly after this segment, Dimitri and I, we put this up on the lift and we'll show you the underbody. So stay tuned if you want to see the underbody condition, because that presents the same as the exterior and the rest of it. It's really, really impressive. So just taking our walk around here. Now that it's in the sun, obviously you can't hide any imperfections in the sun on a paint job, or even in the kind of plastics and trim, and you can just see how well this Range Rover presents. Show you these wheels here, our driver's side wheels and the rotors. All very, very nice. And even you can see the top of the hood. It just all presents very nice. And as I said, it's in the sun, so if there's anything to be seen, we are gonna see it here. So now what I'm gonna do is pop the split tailgate for you and show you how well all this works. And now I'm gonna show you the condition of everything. So check out all of our seams. You can see even the bolts, there's no witness marks on those bolts. They've never been touched. The hinges, everything, there's not even a spot of like surface rust. It's all super impressive. We can see the kind of pinch weld of the top of the hatch. If I get the camera to focus here. It's all super impressive. It's honestly cleaner than a lot of cars on the road today that are only like a couple years old. So this really shows how much, as Dimitri mentioned, of really a survivor this Range Rover is. Let me lift up our plastic divider here. Checking out the bottom of the tailgate. Once again, those bolts, the paint on them is all clean, never been touched. And our kind of seams, like in here, all these areas where, like I said, you look at a vehicle in New England that's maybe only a couple years old, it's driven every day, it's maybe not, you know, washed or detailed as frequently as it should be, and all these areas will already start to show signs of corrosion. So we have our cargo cover here, which I can fold this up and out of the way. It's pretty cool how this works. Let's fold that like so for now. Carpet is in very, very good shape. There's also, I will mention, I know this isn't smell-o-vision or whatever, so to speak, but it smells almost like factory fresh in this Range Rover. There's no like weird smells or anything of that nature. We can see full-size spare with the tire. We've got our safety equipment that I think it's a hazard reflector you set up if you need to, do a roadside tire change or whatever. But all the tools and the bottle jack is there. And even the condition of our plastics back here, it's all super nice. We can see the back of the second row of leather. And we'll take special note to the headliner because all of that is in super impressive condition. As you know, Range Rover, very useful. You can fit lots of things in it and really go anywhere you need. So it's really impressive, this cargo area. Even the headliner, as I just showed you, there's no like nicks or scratches or areas where you can tell, kind of things were just thrown in it. And all those areas, and the carpet especially, will get kind of damaged or scuffed up, or have areas of wear that won't come out. And that split tailgate all works beautifully, as you just saw, with that little electric pop system. All 4 door handles work beautifully as well. They're all super smooth. The latches work beautifully. And taking note as well, all the panel gaps are all very even and factory. So you can see there. So let me go back into the second row. Really quite impressive. I'll show you all the door jambs of every door, as this is going to be a very in-depth video. As I said, there isn't one area of this Range Rover we're going to leave untouched. Even these little drain holes for the door. Most doors, or I believe pretty much all doors, have these for when a little bit of water will get in the door or the outer door skin because of like the window. But so, the water will drain out of these little like weep holes, and there isn't even an ounce of corrosion, let alone, surface rust or anything. It's all super impressive. Showing you the door jamb, we can see our rubber boot for the wiring harness. No cracking or dry rotting or anything of that nature. It's all very, very impressive. And even the edges of the doors, very clean. Very, very clean. That's usually where rust starts, where salt will kind of get its way, work its way into there, or rock chips will kind of chip up the edges of the bottom of the doors from driving, and then rust will form on the bare metal. You can see our factory rubber mats. Looking at our carpet underneath, very impressive. No stains or like discoloring, especially a vehicle this age with a light carpet like this, a gray carpet. The first thing to kind of start, showing its age a lot of times is the carpet. If you've always had, your feet on it with no mat, and they discolor, and you really can't get that color back unless you like replace or even have to dye the carpet. Checking out our seats. Leather is in awesome shape. I love how this leather, it's super comfortable, and I like the pattern here with how it's like stitched. We have our center armrest. That mechanism works beautifully, very smooth. Checking out our our seat pockets on the back. Once again, there's no like nicks or tears in the leather from, someone being back here and kicking it or putting something in the back. Once again, taking note of all the panel gaps. It's all factory original. Looks beautiful, no funny business. Once again, the door latches, handles, all work awesome as intended. Taking a look at the body of the vehicle. See our door jamb. And really the condition all around this is going to be just consistent throughout the whole vehicle here. Even the edge of the door right here, not even an ounce of corrosion. And we did just look at the back, but just checking it out one more time from this side. All very clean, and our vents all work as well. No broken like slats or anything. Now our passenger door, same thing. Opens and closes beautifully. The latch is nice and tight. It's our passenger seat, the leather. Now from here we'll check out the headliner and the rest of the vehicle. You can see there's no loose areas or sagging or stains or tears. I'll put our sun cover, I'll roll that over. It's all very impressive, and especially this kind of driver area is kind of the first place to get things on it, you know, if you're maybe eating in the car or things of that nature. So once again, just very, very clean. Checking out our passenger door, the door jamb, I should say. And even you can see inside of the front fender right there, and just look how clean that is, all the way down to where it bolts to the body. It's all very impressive and in factory-like condition. I can drop our glove box, which works beautifully, and we'll take a look under our mat. Very, very nice shape. Dimitri already had explained the window switches, but we can see there's no worn out switches. We can read everything. It's all in very, very impressive shape. The clock, I like that too. See, the vents are in nice shape there, especially the dash. There's no cracking or like discoloration. It's all very nice. It's all still kind of like a plush touch material. Feels very nice. I'll open up our center console, and this does flip back and act as cup holders, which is pretty cool. So now making our way to the driver's seat. The leather all presents very nicely. If we pull out our mat, very, very nice shape. No discoloration or staining. Put this mat back for us. Checking out the driver's door jamb. Once again, even like the edge of that door, it looks untouched. It's kind of insane to see with a vehicle this age. In a vehicle of this nature, or usually you buy a Range Rover, so you'll use it in the elements or in the salty conditions, because it's so capable in those conditions. And we can see too, like all of our functions in the seat here work beautifully. No weird noises from the electric motors or anything. Just taking a look at our steering wheel. You can see it's not worn out or stained or anything. And all the switch gears in great shape. Now let me start it up for you and then pop the hood so we can hear it run and idle right from the engine bay, and check out the condition under there. So we will have some beeping. It all starts right up. We can see our information it gives us down here. We can see our left-hand front doors open. All that works beautifully. We can see 64,800 miles. That ABS light that's on, that will go off once you start driving, once it kind of does a self-check. So that is normal as well. All of our gauges work beautifully. I'll give it just a couple little revs for you. Of course, it is cold, so that's all I'm gonna do, but just showing you, it runs very, very smooth. And now I'll open the hood. Just hums right along, super smooth idle, very quiet. Just taking a look at the condition of everything. It's all very, very nice. All of our factory labels on here, and all these fender bolts, there's no like witness marks or anything. All those have not been messed with. And all the bolts for the hood as well. You can see they all have factory paint, no marks on them. The hood liner's in good shape too, but there is just a little blemish right here. And we can really just hear how smooth this thing is running. Very, very nice. And I will note too, like all the front edges of the hood, no corrosion as well. As that's a lot of times one of the first places to start having corrosion is kind of that front edge, bottom edge of the hood. Kind of the same thing that happens with the bottom edges of the doors. You get a couple little rock chips and then the elements, the salt gets there and it just starts doing its thing, unfortunately. So now that we've seen all around the exterior, interior, cargo compartments, the engine bay, now we're going to get it up on the lift and we'll show you the underbody.
And now we're going to look at the underbody of this really amazing P38 1999 Range Rover. And again, only 65,000 miles and absolutely amazing service history and the ownership history. So we're going to take you through, actually we're going to start from the very front of the vehicle. And let's get the camera kind of like up just so we can see the front of the Range Rover. You can stand back. Ian is handling the camera work. And yeah, let's get the side view. And of course, the underbody is the main attraction of any vehicle, but when we talk about Range Rovers, it is especially true. So this is a Survivor, a very, very well-maintained Survivor. Everything from just the condition of hardware and down to the condition of the components. And this is not some kind of a just sprayed with undercoating. If you look at this, kind of like a stitched on number, you can see that this is the original paint on the axle, and we did put what we call amber clear protection on top of that. It's kind of a waxy, very simple on and off product, but it offers great protection and repels water. So as we look around, you can see the condition of rims, you can see the condition of the components, and yes, we detailed this underbody. We made it look very, very clean, but it was clean to begin with, and it deserved every minute of our time, and we put actually a lot of minutes, a lot of hours to get this to this condition. You can see a lot of new updated components. It drives amazing. It drives absolutely amazing, and you already noticed that it doesn't have the air suspension. It has the coil suspension properly set up. We have all the paperwork. The previous owner who traded the P38 on the Mercedes SL, he's a Range Rover enthusiast, he's a Mercedes enthusiast, and we have here the invoice that he recently paid to an outfit that specializes in Range Rovers. He paid over $4,000, and I think it was a great deal. And this particular invoice covers some work that was done on the climate control panel. It was actually replaced because there were pixels missing, and he actually got it all done. There's a new battery. There are a few other things like blend motors for the dash, so all that's been overhauled on this vehicle. That's the $4,000. Prior to that, previous owners spent, I believe, close to, if not over $5,000 on the conversion and a few other suspension upgrades like the tie rod ends, alignment, and just making sure everything is super, super tight. So when we received the vehicle, it was already in awesome condition, and we talked about the detailing, which we done, and we're gonna show you. Very proud of that. We also did, there was a little bit of seepage of oil from the oil pan. Otherwise, it was pretty tight throughout. So you can see we removed the oil pan from the vehicle, and we replaced the gasket with the proper material and sealant, and it's been actually very, very dry, which we're proud to say about any English vehicle. Also, previously, and just like literally there was no miles on the brakes and tires. The tires are brand new. You can see them right there. And front brake pads and rotors are brand new. And they're properly done, nice and smooth. I really enjoy driving this one. It's no vibrations, very, very smooth from brakes or from just driving on the highway, back roads. So let's get going with, we'll present you our detailing work, which was the icing on the cake. And the cake is the condition of this Range Rover. So as you can see, first of all, the drivetrain is nice and dry. And Ian is now going over the frame, which still has the factory coating. There's no spray on undercoating. This is all factory with, in places, a little bit of amber coating, which is again transparent, waxy. You can see a little bit here, it's shiny, but that's about it. So, and look at the condition of the cross members, control arms, exhaust system, drive shaft. I'm going to assist in with a little bit of light with my little snap-on light. So and now we're gradually making our way towards the rear end. Yeah, these are very important areas, the inner rocker panels, outer rocker panels, and we're going to show it to you in when the vehicle is down. You're going to see the condition of the paint is absolutely amazing. Yeah, let's make sure we get to the frame. Look at the condition of the frame. Look at the condition of brake lines that are normally just, you have layers and layers and layers of rust. They're all in excellent condition, absolutely no rust. Again, look at the condition of wheels. Very nice, very clean. Backing plates. And again, the exhaust system. Here's the upgraded suspension. Again, the frame rail on the top, nice and clean. Exhaust system, and now we're making our way towards the rear of the vehicle, and we're going to look at the inside, the cross member for the bumper. You can see there's absolutely no rust there. So, as you can see from this video, we definitely have a solid winner here from the standpoint of overall condition, from the standpoint of mechanical upgrades, from the standpoint of maintenance upgrades like tires and brakes, fluids. That's been all done. Thanks for watching this video. And now that you know as much as we do, and if we missed anything, definitely reach out to us through our website, through our YouTube channel. Now that you know everything as much as we do, you would probably agree that this is an amazing survivor, an amazing opportunity for anyone that always wanted to get into a Land Rover, a Range Rover. This would be a great one. So we wanted to show you the tailgate. We wanted to show you how special this is. Again, thank you very much for viewing this video. Consider subscribing, sharing, and please let us know which videos you like the best by simply clicking the like button. My name is Dimitri. I'm here with Ian, and until next time.